Well, Peter Schrager was the first to break it this morning. The Atlanta Falcons are officially in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. Now, they could give Houston for a year Matt Ryan's contract, which is not a bad guy for Davis Mills, the young kid to learn from. So Schrager, now Fox Sports, joins us live. So you were the first on the Atlanta story. And by the way, he's from that area. So I always thought Carolina was the leader because he's an ACC legend in the Panthers' footprint. But Atlanta makes as much sense to me. So you tell me the latest on Deshaun.
Yeah, look, it goes down like this. New Orleans and Carolina emerged as the leaders in this thing. And I'm talking to you now from my bunker. If you're watching on FS1, I've got all my free agent notes behind me. Atlanta and Carolina were the leaders. Then Cleveland came in, but there was always going to be a wild card team. And I had heard that for weeks. Like, there's a wild card team no one's talking about. And it is the Atlanta Falcons, who will be meeting with Deshaun Watson tomorrow. Now, they do have Matt Ryan in their roster. There's a million questions you can have about that, but they're taking the meeting. Seattle, from what John McClain of the Houston Chronicle reported, is now out of the running. And it might be from the Houston side. It might be from the Seattle side, but that is not an option. And Indianapolis, who expressed interest, the Texans have decided that they will not be trading Deshaun Watson within the division. Now, if Atlanta were to somehow pull this off, not only do they get Deshaun Watson and then now have, Deshaun Watson, a Atlanta superstar, Southeast, the center of the Southeast is in Atlanta, and of course a hometown kid. It would also be a net loss for Carolina, who would still be lost at quarterback, and New Orleans, who would still be lost at quarterback. It's almost like a zero-sum game. Not only do you not get him, but we would add him, and that would be a major coup for Atlanta. And Arthur Smith, who's viewed as a quarterback guru who got the best out of Ryan Tannehill when he got his hands on him.
I got to be honest with you, Schrag. If I'm Deshaun Watson and he has a no-trade clause, I think Atlanta's my choice. I get an emerging star at tight end. I get a very solid owner in Arthur Blank. He's been a very solid owner, tends to be patient on coaches. He keeps a coach about a year longer than the fans want. The O-line's not great, but Deshaun, to his credit, can mitigate some of those. Boy, that's an interesting one. It's my hometown. By the way, nothing against Carolina. Atlanta is the biggest city in the South.
It is.
Delta, Coca-Cola. Like, there's the endorsement opportunities in Atlanta are much greater than Carolina. That is, if I'm Deshaun, that's where I want to go.
Well, it's been since Michael Vick since they've had a superstar like that. Julio was a superstar, sure. And we can go through Trae Young and Dominique Wilkins and Freddie Freeman and whoever else. But Deshaun Watson came to Atlanta and brought Atlanta to the playoffs and Atlanta to the Super Bowl. This would be a whole other thing because he's the hometown kid. And I'll also add this, the Clemson ties to the Panthers are kind of real. Like, they're in the Carolinas and he's a Clemson guy, but you talk about Atlanta and Deshaun Watson, that's a whole other deal.
Yep. It just feels bigger. You and I saying it feels bigger. Okay, Russell Wilson, what is his impact, going to the Broncos, what is his impact on the rest of the offseason?
Yeah, so it's funny because they make this trade for Russell Wilson. Everyone's looking at the compensation for it. But I came out right away and said when Peyton Manning was traded or signed with the Broncos, it wasn't just Peyton Manning that came with him. He immediately got Wes Welker when the contract negotiations went awry with the Patriots. And then the presence of Peyton Manning helped bring DeMarcus Ware. It helped bring Aqib Talib. It helped bring Emmanuel Sanders. They added veterans who were like, oh, Peyton Manning's there. That's a place I can win. I can tell you last night that a player that might not be a household name, DJ Jones, who's a big defensive tackle for the 49ers, free agent, young, entering his first big contract negotiation. Multiple teams were in on him, and he chose Denver because it gives him the best chance to win.
Yeah.
And that's the little thing. Today, Randy Gregory, a far different situation because Gregory has been suspended and reinstated and suspended and reinstated, and there was contract language. But even still, Randy Gregory originally was agreed upon with the Cowboys, but has now backed out, and now is going to go to the Broncos. And one of the main reasons there is because you go to the Broncos, you might be closer to winning than you go to the Cowboys.
Yes.
And Russell Wilson is real. So the Russell Wilson effect, it's the same thing as the Peyton Manning effect. It's the same thing as the Tom Brady effect. And last year, Matthew Stafford joining the Rams, I don't know if Odell's dying to go to L.A. with Jared Goff.
No, that's right.
I don't know if Von Miller's beating down the doors to be traded to the Rams with Jared Goff at quarterback. So it's real, and it's not tangible in the compensation. But when you talk about attracting other free agents, Russell Wilson will bring those guys.
Yeah. Boy, that is such a great point. That was the LeBron effect. like Shane Battier, Ray Allen, guys that take a little less because they want to win. I mean, listen, once you get a 50, once you've made some money, you want to win games. It's a miserable place to play if you're 7-10.
That's how you get white chocolate to go down to the Heat. You do that, you get LeBron, and that's how you make it happen.
All right, Aaron Rodgers' contract. What are you hearing big pictures for Green Bay?
All right, you want to go really into the weeds here. So last week, Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network announces $50 million a year, 200, and Rodgers tweets for the first time since January, like, those numbers are not right. And I think a lot of that was because he wanted the world to know, like, I am not gobbling up all this money so that my guys can't get paid. Truth of the matter is, comes out today, and he is getting $150 million guaranteed. So it's not like he's taking some great discount. But what they did was they completely front-loaded the guaranteed money, and then the salary cap number is only going to be $18 million. So yes, he is going to get paid, but the way they structured this thing, they did create space for not only Davante Adams, but hopefully Jair Alexander as well. Now, this isn't just magic and illusion, and the salary cap's not real. At some point, they're going to have to pay the piper.
That's right.
With Rodgers being so year to year, basically like, we're all in on 2022. We'll deal with it in 2023 and beyond when we have to get there. If Rodgers is even here, we don't know. But in this case, it's completely managed so that they have salary cap money for this year. And then there's hell to pay in years to come. But they're almost like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And if the salary cap goes up and up and up, there's less hell to pay. And they assume that the NFL is going to keep on making money. And as we saw from those media deals, that assumption's probably right.
Yeah. I think I looked at his contract this morning. It'd be $41 million annually in 3 years, which is not a discount and won't be then, but it's not as punitive. If the salary cap goes up about $10 million a year, that's the average. So there are rumors, Brady and the Niners, from an executive that said basically he wanted to go from Tampa to San Francisco. It wasn't going to work. What do you buy the rumors?
I don't. I think he's a Buccaneer. I do think there's some things that have to be figured out. And I'm not trying to make news here, but I'll tell you, things ended a little differently the second year with Bruce Arians than it did the first year. And they just have to have a conversation probably and figure it out. But like, Arians is, hey, Tommy's the man, all this stuff. Like, that was great in year one. And there was this great charismatic feel. But like year two, it felt like maybe Brady was with some injured players and some things going on with the team and Antonio Brown. Like, Brady didn't seem as happy as he did in year one. And I'm not sure if that's because of the coach or just the situation, but he retires and then now he comes back. But I can't imagine that there's just simply going to be, here's what it is. It's the same thing as we have, but we have less players and less chance to win. So I'd be curious to see what the coaching staff looks like if they add some guys, if they make some moves. Because Brady didn't come back to finish 10-7 and lose in the wild card round. Brady's coming back for blood, and he's going to want to win. My last point here is they lost two key players, Alex Cappa and Ali Marpet, two offensive guards. Yep. You might not say that's huge, but when you add that to also going to be losing a lot of free agents over the next few days, it's not the same roster. So Brady does come back, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as happy Brady, let's go. I think there's going to have to be some changes or some player additions or maybe even some coaching moves.
All right, Schrags broke the story on Atlanta and Deshaun Watson, which feels big to me. If I'm Deshaun, no trade clause, that feels big. I got a star at tight end, a very good owner, an offensive coach known for quarterback development. Boy, that's interesting. Schrags, all you do is give us insight and gold bars. That's all you do. What's that behind you?
It's the nicest thing you could say, Connor. Connor. There you go. I said your name wrong. So there you go. Thanks. Colin.
Yes.
Colin. Yeah, you compliment me, I call you Connor. That's good.
All right,
It's been a long few days. I haven't slept too much.
It has. Just keep breaking those stories, Schrags. Peter Schrager, Fox Sports, cheat sheet, Fox Sports app. Good stuff. Some stuff just sounds bigger. Deshaun Watson, Atlanta. Okay, that sounds bigger than Deshaun Watson, Saints with a new coach, or Deshaun Watson, Panthers. If I'm Deshaun Watson, in the South, Atlanta's the city. Period. This is not the West Coast.
It's not a comparison.
It's not like Washington in the East Coast. New York's got the size. Boston's got the history. Philly's got the cheesesteak. And Washington's got the power. In the South, there's Atlanta. Everything else is off Atlanta. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.